Well, this is Baruch Fleischman here, your lift manager at the Tikkun Elevator Kolo, working to try to bring the words of the Zohar to the Jewish people. So here at the Tikkun Elevator, that's what we're doing. There's basically a very small audience listening. Many people don't even know what's going on here. Doesn't know it exists, or it's not important, but this is really the pathway to tremendous amount of Kedusha. So here we have Ari Kavanos. Now, admittedly, Ari Kavanos requires background in order to really understand what we're trying to accomplish. But here we are trying to direct our prayers to the most potent possible way to gain acceptance and bring down the love of Hashem into this world. So we use the tip of Kavanos as we've done before. We're kind of get back into the idea of these brachos that we're making. There are 3 brachos that we make on the first day of Hanukkah. And we're talking about 3 combinations of letters that produce the Gematria of 250, which is the Gematria of the word Ner. Now, here's where we stopped last time. And you can see as you look into my book here, let me see how focused we are. As you look into my book, I've been here before. But from one year to the next, it's a whole different set of being able to look at it. So let's get down here to number Membet. And number Membet says, B'hi b'birchot rish bracha rishonim. Shahoya, what is that bracha? L'hadlik ner Chanukay. Ner mezu shloshtam. So the 3 different combinations of the name Havaya, we have Havaya Ekia, Havaya Elokim, and Havaya Adni. If you add them up, they come to be 250, which is the Gematria of Ner. So the Tiv writes, B'birchos ribracha b'shona, Merumah's kolosh shlosha yechudim. So you have a remes here to the 3 different combinations. They are called yechudim. So let's just think about it for a second. If you take a vaya, which really represents Zer Anpin, which is the Vov, he's able in the middle between 2 hays. So if you looked at it in, let's say, look at it from up above, down below, Yud, and then underneath it a K, then a Vav, and then another K. The Vav is in between the 2. It's an easy way to see it. So he said what you're doing is you're making a Yichud between that Vav and the K on the top, which is Bina, and a Yichud between the K at the bottom, which is Adni. And in the middle, you have this Havaya Elokim, which represents the middle part. So you could say when you say top, well, then you think it's also could be called Chabad. And if you say the middle, well, then it could also be called Chagat. And if you say the bottom, then it could also be called the Nai. So this is a section, a concept of bringing all of this light in through the combinations. This is a Kavanah, the combinations of these names. All would come to the word Ner. He said, Milas Ner, now he's writing it out. The word Ner itself, Ola Kamisbar Kol, Hashlosha Yehudim Kafishi is bar. It comes to the gematria of those 3 Yehudim, and he calls them once again Yehudim. These are uniting worlds, making them into oneness. Now he says, but bracha shniya, let's go to the second bracha, shehisha also nisim nirmazu hashenis. So the first one would be, and he's going to spell it out really clearly, the first one would be Havaya Ekia. So that would be the first one. But now we're going to the second bracha, which is Sha'aso Nisim. Shehi Sha'aso Nisim. Nir Mezucha Yichud HaShniya, then you have a reference here to the second Yichud. Shehu Havaya Elokim, that's putting those together. V'yizboy Elokamon. Now this is all going to be explained further. Number Mem Dalet, this is B'birchos HaShlishis, and the third bracha, Shehi Shehechiyanu. Nir Mezura Tachtona Mekulim, then you're talking about the lowest of all of them, which is Havaya Adni, and again, he's going to spell it out more. But bracha shlish is in the third bracha, Shehi Shehechiyanu. Nir Mezud Yichud Tachtona. This is what we call the lower Yichud, the Yichud of the 9. He says, Yachud Tachtona Mekulim Ahainuch Havaya Adni. Again, we're going to see this as we go forward. We try to understand this simple kavanah that we could have. Is that when we say the word Lahadlik Ner, and we say the words also Nisim, and the final one Shehechiyanu, these are different combinations of Havayas with either Ekia, Elokim, or Adni. So this I found in different kuntras. So this is what you want to do. that word ner that ends in the original bracha, the shabir bracha rishon in the first bracha, you have shlosha yechudim now. B'peshutam, that is the simple, the hinder below milui, you have just the name Havaya all by itself. Atem maybe marchu b'makom acher, so he's bringing from another place here. Shemisham nira sheyesh the kavan shemos ela b'milui. So some places it says that you should do it with the simple Yud Kei Vav Kei, but other places it's talking about using the milui of the Yud Kei Vav Kei. So let's understand what he means, and I think maybe he's going to show us. Let's see, Ki Havaya Rishona Shehim Akia. So the first Havaya Akia combination Tihia b'milui Yudin Da'av. So in other words, instead of using a regular Havaya, you use this milui, which is called the milui of Av. Hainu Havaya Rishona Shalayicho, the Rishon, Tihia b'milui Yudin. It should be with a milui like this, and this is how you spell the name Yud Kei Vav Kei out using Yudin. And this you could see on the page. It's Yud Vav Dalet Kei Yud Vav Kei Yud. That's a milui of Yudin. Havaya the Av. If you add it up, if Av means 72, so if you add up those letters, they come to the Gematrias 72. 72 critical number in Kabbalah. Number Mem Zayin Havaya Shenis. Let's go to the second Havaya. Sheim Elokim He Desag. So now we change the Havaya and we make it a different kind of a spelling of the Havaya, because there are 4 different ways we can spell Havaya. But Havaya Hashenis She'anu Miyachdim Im Elokim Tekavein Havaya Desag Gazeh. You make the Havaya Desag. Now what's the difference between Av and Sag? It's just this letter right here. There's instead of Vav Yud Vav, it's Vav Aleph Vav, which makes the Gematrias Sag, which is 63. For Havaya HaShlishis, now let's take the third Havaya. She'im Adni. So it's Havaya Adni, He Havaya. Then this is the Havaya, this is another kind of spelling of Havaya, which is the Havaya Dema. For Havaya HaShlishis, She'ana miyachadim adni tekavin the Havaya Dema. So what does the Havaya Dema look like? This is also called the Havaya of Alafim, the milui of Alafim. Yud Vav Dalet Hey Aleph. Here are the Alephs. Vav Aleph Vav Hey Aleph Hey Aleph. So here we see that the name spelled out in the milui of Alafim. It comes to Gematria 45. That's why they call it Ma. V'shlosha Havayos Elo Atzman. Chutz Memashin is Bayer Atabe Kavanos Yichud Ner. So these Kavanos, he says through these spelling of these Havayas like this, Yesh the common Shemus of Havaya Milui, so that we're going to look at these names of Havaya in a spelled out form, which is called a Milui. So therefore, Liachdam im Shar HaShemus, to in other words, to take these Miluyim and join them with the rest of the names. Mosif Kan Od Kavanah. So this is another Kavanah that we can do. Lakavid b'shemus Havaya levadam, in order to have this Kavanah with the shemus of Havaya by themselves. Behind the Havaya the Av sheyachadenu im ha'ekya. That first time that you take the Havaya the Av, the Yud Kei Vav Kei spelled out Yud Vav Dalef Kei Yud Vav Kei Yud. Combine that 72. She'achadenu im ha'ekya, and put it together with the ekya, which is the number 21. Then you take the Havaya, the Sag, she'yachadenu im Elokim, v'ayah the Ma, she'yachadenu im Adni. I think this is where we're going to stop today. So let me just read a little bit more. I'll read a little bit more. Number Nun. Hey, so what you have here is this combination of these 3 miluyim with the names that are either of Akia or Elokim or Adni, Shedekava b'milu l'hadek shehi b'gematria Av Sag Umem, Oma. So these gematrias Av Sag Uma shall lahadlik. Shemus Havaya Hanal Sarek Lakavid b'milu lahadlik. So you have to have these names. In other words, when you use the milui. Oh, I lost the place there. Sorry. So he said when you use the milui, that comes out that the shtevos, the word itself, lahadlik, im akoilo, ola kamisbar av saguma, she'ola kuf pei. So if you add these names together, av sag uma, so that's what you're putting in a milui form of the name Yud Kei Vav Kei, and you're combining it with either the Akia, the Elokim, and the Adni. If you take those three spellings of Av, that is 60, 72, 63, and 45, it comes to the Gematria of Kufpei with a Kolel. It comes out to the same Gematria as Lahadlik. Okay, that's the piece for today. It's a little bit deep. Look it over. Listen to it again. We'll see some more. This is Baruch Fleischman for the Tikkun Elevator Kolel.